So since this project is basically going to be made from just random scraps I have lying around and or are very easily available, as well as tools, probably going to hate myself for that last one, but you know, that's how the game's played. I basically selected these pallets to use for my base. This is like oak, I think. They're a little old. They've been used for a walkway for a while, that's why they're kind of beat up, but it should do fine. I mean, this isn't going to be a, you know, a high-powered hunting compound crossbow or anything, so this should do well. So I'm going to pry off some chunks and get to work. Okay, so got my board mostly ripped out. I was gonna cut out something for the kind of limbs of it. I'm planning on using a bungee cord for the shooting part. The string kind of functions like a slingshot crossbow. Originally, I was gonna cut out the piece I needed just out of more of the pallet, but I don't think it's gonna work. So I think I'm just gonna get a wooden dowel. Again, they're usually not expensive and they're fairly available, so just gonna use that. Now I'm gonna have to modify the board here. I'm going to cut off this piece here, just so that way I can have a little more handle, because it's going to stretch way out. It's going to be pretty long with a little tiny handle. It's going to be great. I also have this notch kind of marked. It's supposed to be cut, but it's mostly marked. I'm going to cut in a little bit, and that's where it's going to come down, like hook in place. So you push it up, and then it goes. So these nails are going to have to go because the thing broke off because it's old. So yeah, I've just said so many times here. And anyway, yeah, I got to modify that a bit. Of course, to get the dowel, which I don't have at the moment, so I'll do that at a later time. Soon, but you know. Then I'm gonna have to drill a hole in here. I think what I'm gonna do is just put in like a 1/4 inch bolt, or just get a bolt or something to fit through, so that way it doesn't push all the way up and come out. Then I'm gonna have a lever part drilled in here, so you pull it kind of like a medieval crossbow. So, yeah, gonna start by cutting off this piece here, or chiseling it off. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing it yet. Probably start cutting and go from there and see what happens. Okay, now that I have that piece cut off, not the cleanest, but this isn't going to be the cleanest crossbow. I'm going to drill a hole here. Probably one of the only power drills I'm using is just hand drill. Fairly common, so I figured it's not really cheating. Got a 3/8 bit in it. Not really sure on the size, I'm just going to use a 3/8 bolt. I might have some of those lying around or be able to find some. Again, they're cheap, you can buy them by a pound at most hardware stores. So, going to drill a hole there. And then I'm going to cut out my notch for the string, and then work on making some sort of groove after I sand that, because this board is, you know, really terrible shape. Honestly, you don't have to use old pallets. You can use any old wood. This is just what I had or was able to get hold of cheaply. So that's what I'm using. Terrible lighting in this shot. It's my shop at the moment. But now I basically need to cut in the groove for the bolts rundown. I've looked at different ways. I think in Todd's workshop, which is kind of what I'm loosely basing this on. I don't know if I said that before. I probably did. It's been a long day. He actually used a box cutter and basically just cut it in. I don't know what kind of wood he used, but it didn't seem to be any sort of hardwood, and this is oak. So that wasn't going to work. So basically I'm just taking a chisel, leaning it over to the side, and just kind of doing this at a slight angle. And it's going to do this all the way down, flip it over, do the same thing, and then just make adjustments from there. So I'll get back to you when I'm done, because this is going to be a while. Okay, so that's carved in there. Pretty ugly, but should do for now. I'm going to just sand it clean, similar to what I did with this. So that way, you know, it's not as ugly. Shouldn't be as an issue as long as you don't have the little like strands. Again, this wood's pretty stringy. But gonna do that real quick, and then of course, gonna find a way to get rid of these nails. I'll probably just take a grinder and cut them off. Hopefully, get some that doesn't have that issue. And then I'm going to start building the trigger system, which basically I'm just gonna kind of cut a slot in here. I'll probably just take my drill out a hole and just kind of chisel it square, drill a hole, put a peg through it, and then I'll have like kind of a bar piece of wood here to act like kind of like the medieval trigger, just to push the bolt up. And the reason I'm using a bolt is so that way I kind of have like a head here, and I just push up against that, so that way it doesn't, you know, come all the way out. That's why I'm using a bolt instead of just a wooden dowel. Honestly, a wooden dowel would probably work too if that's what you want or what you have. But since I have this, that's what I'm using. Honestly, this is mostly just, you know, inspiration. You know, feel free to be creative, do it as you see is best. And yeah, I'm gonna clean that up and get back to work instead of talking. Sorry, it's been a long day. Okay, so got a little bit of work done. Of course, I got that hole drilled. I might have filmed that, I don't remember. But basically, what I've done is I've cut this piece out, which is gonna sit up here. That kind of keeps the bolt from moving around before you shoot it. It won't prevent from like sliding out the end, but as long as you're not aiming down, that shouldn't be an issue. I also have these pegs in it, which I'm gonna put some glue on before I attach it, and then put some glue in there to hold it in place. I have some holes drilled for that. I also have my trigger system, just board cut, and again, just kind of a peg, it's just sitting there at the moment. And got my bolt in there. Basically, when you pull it up, pushes that out and allows the shot to, you know, shoot. So I'm going to, we're gonna glue those and then go from there. Okay, now at the other end of it's glued together and we're ready to, Okay, now that I have the other end glued together, it's ready to go. Basically, I have to make the arms for it, and we should be ready. I have this wooden dowel here. I think this is like poplar or something. It was a hardwood dowel, but not actually labeled for what it is. I'm basically putting this together what I could find. I was going to cut it from the boards, but everything's either soft and rotting away or really dense oak, and I didn't really want to deal with that. So this it is. What I did is I cut these notches in it, so that way I can take what I'm going to use for my string. There's bungee cords. These are pretty available, commonly found lying around. Basically what I'm going to do is I have it shortened up so it fits. I'm going to have it looped around, have both ends hooked in. Well, that's in the center. And I have it shortened, so that way I basically have doubled up. And then I'm going to attach paracord in the middle, so that way basically paracord's what's shooting that bolt. The notch is cut a little bigger because I meant to just use one of these, but yeah. Anyway, I'm also going to drill a hole. I'm going to drill a hole so I can put a peg through that so that way it doesn't twist and rotate and move. So I'm going to do that and then get to stringing it, I guess, and gluing it. Quick thing before I glue everything together, which I'm mostly done, just a quick thing. I ended up having to just do it with a single cord because the double layer wasn't working. I just drilled holes through, I cut one end off, one of the these little metal rings here, and just removed the hooks, put it through, tied at the end, made it tight, and it has not great range or power, but you know, just for fun, messing around, it's not bad. Not gonna lie, it bends a lot, but it doesn't snap back into place very well. So probably not the best option, but it'll be fun. You know, just kind of play around with, and you know, maybe get some like spear gun rubber or something. You might want something stronger than this, but either way, it's gonna be fun to play around with, and fortunately my medieval crossbow bolts sort of worked, so I'll be using those for some of the tests anyway. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna go play with this for a little while because I like crossbows.